So what we've seen, if you look at fatal crashes per capita, what we've seen is very large declines for teen drivers. So this is middle-aged drivers. All fatal crashes have come down for all ages in the last few years. But when you look at teen drivers, again, the changes are really dramatic. So if you look at the youngest drivers, 16-year-olds, their fatal crash rate per population has come down 68% just since graduated licensing was put in place. I think there's a misperception often that older drivers are an increasing menace on the highways. And our research suggests that's not the case. Teens and older drivers are really different, and I know all you know that, but when you look at teens or you look at drivers in their 20s and their older 30s, what you see is risk-taking. They tend to speed, especially in their 20s and early 30s. When you look at fatal crashes, alcohol is still responsible for a third of the deaths. When you look at older drivers, there are impairments that can make them more at risk for crash, but some of their high crash rate relates to where they drive. They tend to drive in urban areas, and they have a high rate of intersection crashes. And they don't drive a lot, and I'm going to show you some slides about that later on, but drivers of any age that don't drive a lot have higher crash rates. So there's some mitigating factors, I think, for older drivers. And when you look at fatal crashes, and Steve mentioned this, part of the big factor in a higher fatal crash rate for older people is their fragility. I want to talk just briefly about crash avoidance technology, because we believe, as do most people, I think, in highway safety, that this has the potential to be just a real game changer in highway safety. But I think when we talk about age, especially older age, there are some issues that need to be considered. So we've done some studies. This is our newsletter on what the vehicles of the future will be. And the big change that we see coming is what is a class of technology called crash avoidance technology. And so we and the government and other groups, I'm sure Volpe, are looking at what kind of a difference these technologies are going to make. So they have great potential, as you'll see when you look at the crashes that might be affected. But, you know, we're not sure. Will drivers use them? Will they accept them? Will they, when they get a warning, will they do the right thing? How will driver behavior change?